Hey, what's going on, everyone? Excited for you to wanted to share with you my top 10 tips when buying a home. It was my first time buying a home. It was a really long process, and definitely wanted to share with you some of my takeaways. And hopefully, this is helpful for you. So yeah, let's get to it. So number one, I would say start your research early. I think we started 8 months before we actually bought the home, just so you know what the mortgage process is like, so you could see how much money you could qualify for. Interest is at an all-time low right now, so I would definitely recommend buying it now just because it's at all-time record lows. So we ended up speaking with a mortgage broker pretty early on, and we spoke with a couple different ones just because I think it's smart to um, be able to get different perspectives. We ended up buying a new construction, so um, I do also would like to recommend like not working with too many mortgage brokers. We actually were working with three, and even though we did get a really good rate, it was quite stressful just having to go through that whole process. So some people do work with just one broker. It really depends on if you really like the negotiation process with negotiating different rates. Number three, focus on getting your credit score up. Luckily, my in-laws, my wife was pretty good about holding me accountable for getting my credit score up. So I was able to get it up by 100 points during that whole 8 months. So that significantly reduced my interest rates. Number four, work with your financial advisor and figure out what your budget's going to be. Obviously, it's going to be a different change going through having a mortgage now. So really work with a good financial advisor, and it'll just have more peace of mind, and it'll allow you to be more intentional about your budget and your range when working out your monthly cost. And then you have to think about other costs now too, as a home ownership does have their own costs as well. My place has an HOA fee, so I have to consider that into my monthly budget now. So number five, make sure you get ready by just downloading all of your bank statements, your pay stubs, and W-2s for the last 3 years. You want to just be proactive so that way you're not spending so much time trying to gather all these documents. There might be other documents as well, depending on what state you're in, and just create a folder on the cloud so that way you can refer to it and it'll help you expedite the whole process. Number six, make sure you stay in communication. There's no such thing as stupid questions. I asked my mortgage person so many different questions, my realtor, the builders, the construction company. Just make sure you're as thorough as possible because it is there is a lot to consider. Um, so number seven, that does lead me to number seven, is make sure you stay organized. There's going to be a lot of emails, a lot of documents. Make sure you create a folder where you can look back to it because there's just a lot of communications, a lot of moving pieces. So that's something that I would recommend. I could have been a little bit better with my organization. And number eight, make sure you're very thorough when you go through the check-in and the walkthrough and through the appraisal process. We were fortunate that since we bought a new property, there weren't as many issues, but a lot of my friends and family and people have always shared with me that there's always a lot of issues that they wish they were a little bit more thorough in asking those questions early on in the process. And yeah, make sure you have your real estate agent go through the walkthroughs and kind of look over all the documents with you. It's nice to have a second someone who's experienced that has a lot more exposure to this to look through everything. And number nine, make sure you save up to 20% on the down payment. That way you don't have to worry about property mortgage insurance. I know, not everyone is able to make that 20% deposit. I know we didn't, but it does make your life easier. And, you don't have to you don't have to add on to your additional monthly cost. And lastly, just have fun throughout the process. Like you'll learn a lot about yourself. It could be potentially a pretty painful process, but I would say just have fun with it. Like it'll be worth it. I've grown a lot through this, But yeah, hope this was helpful, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Cheers.